Greetings, welcome inside. Happy Monday. The Jason Smith Show with my best friend Mike Harmon.
What's up?
Live from the TireRack.com studios. TireRack.com will help you get there. An unmatched selection, fast free shipping, free road hazard protection, and over 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. Well, you know, we got 2 Monday night games. It's just a bridge. Eventually, it's a gateway. Eventually, we're going to get to 3, 4 Monday night games at once.
Yeah, neither of them are any good.
Quad experience you're going to get. Well, wait a minute. The Commanders-Bengals is a little closer. There's more time left. It is a little bit more in doubt than the Bills.
Well, slightly.
A little bit more.
I like that. Sell.
You know? But look, hey,
I mean, Burrowhead and all.
Yeah. 2 Monday night games tonight. Pretty soon. Next year, hey, we're going to have 3 games. We're going to have 4 games.
Why not?
Pretty soon, we're going to have 1 game Sunday early, 1 game Sunday late, then like 4 games Sunday night, 4 games Monday night, 4 games Thursday night. Like, that's exactly what it's going to be eventually. You're going to get 1 game, 1 local game Sunday in each of the windows,
Yeah,
and that's how we're going to
I'm going to open an electronics store, and I'm going to have really great sales on flat screens. Let's go.
You can do that. 4 games on Thursday, 4 games on Monday, right? That's 8. 4 games Sunday night, that's 12. Now, for the weeks there's no bye, you have to have 4 other games. So, okay, 2 games
2
early.
and 2.
And 2 games late.
No,
give you a choice right there. Okay, so I kind of like.
You still got to have options.
Yeah. 2 on Sunday, 2 on each window Sunday, 4 Sunday night,
I like
4
this.
Monday, 4
This is
Thursday.
good.
Yeah,
Innovators.
There's your NFL future right
Let's
there.
go.
Right now, where do we sit? Well, 5.5 to go in the third quarter. The Commanders have a 28-13 lead over the Bengals. Bengals trying to avoid an 0-3 start. Jaden Daniels has looked good. The Commanders' offense has looked good, but still some time left here, still a quarter and a half. Bengals do have the football, and they are moving. Meanwhile, a game that I think I want to say the referees absolutely screwed the Jaguars in this game.
They screwed the Jaguars.
Screwed the Jaguars.
How did they screw the Jaguars?
Right when they said captains come to midfield for the coin toss. That completely screwed because they had to start the game.
Wow.
That completely
Look at
screwed
you.
them. Right when those referees said it's time to kick off, that screwed the Jaguars. 37-10 right now.
37?
In a row. The Bills lead the Jaguars early in the fourth quarter. Josh Allen having a huge game. He's got 4 touchdowns. James Cook having a big game. Dalton Kincaid having a big game. And let me just say this. We have a big conversation quarterback-wise to get into, but let me say this because I think I may be really far out on this limb, and I want you to talk me back from it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I may be out there. I may be out there and go, oh, wow, Jason, you're crazy. I may be out there.
You mean you're coming out where I made my Super Bowl pick?
I may be out there. I may be out there with you. I may be out there.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm not saying 100%. Maybe. Not 100%. Maybe. Not.
That's a lot of maybes.
Maybe.
You know, we celebrated the 14th anniversary or 13th anniversary. Call me maybe just the other day. You going to sing a few bars while you're at it?
Maybe. Yeah, but the wishing, maybe. The Bills don't miss Stephon Diggs.
No.
Maybe.
What a shocking admission.
I'm out there,
really?
man.
I mean, you're tiptoeing.
Maybe they don't miss Stephon Diggs. Maybe. I mean, look, now people are going to hate me for, oh, my goodness. But maybe they don't miss him.
Wow.
Maybe
you're out on that high wire.
Maybe he was the issue. Maybe they won't.
You're like a member of
Diggs.
the Flying Graysons right now on that high wire.
Maybe not. Maybe things are going to be okay for the Bills as they steam to a 3-0 start. And after a couple of games, suddenly the offense looks even better than it did a year ago. Look, when you see the Bills, they were definitely an either-way team coming into the season, right? They talked really confident about how much they were going to be good. And Josh Allen talked about the confidence he had with the guys on the team. And this shows you just how good a quarterback Josh Allen is. He's making it work with everybody. Tonight, this is the big, hey, Josh Allen can do no wrong, right? He's got the touchdown pass to James Cook. Should have 2 to James Cook. He's got 1 to Shakir. He's got 1 to Ty Johnson. He's got 1 to Keon Coleman. He's got the 1 to Kincaid. Andre Reed has caught 1. So
you get a game ball.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But they talked a big, don't worry, we're good. It's okay, let's see, because who do you have to stop on offense? Turns out you have to stop everyone. And the Bills knew what they were talking about early on, and you thought this was going to be a reset year for the Bills, second half of Josh Allen's career, and instead we're just as good as anybody. Maybe we're the best team in the AFC right now. We have a running game that's going to run people over. I can distribute the football around. It doesn't have to be one guy all the time. We're deep. Look, Shakira's running all over the field tonight, right? Kincaid is a huge weapon. Maybe he's the new Travis Kelce. Coleman's the first-round pick. He's only caught one pass, but it's a 28-yard touchdown. He's got a lot of skills. Maybe they don't miss Stephon Diggs and having to make sure that, hey, if we go a possession, he doesn't see the ball, I have to jam one into him and we waste it down because he's not open, right? So maybe this was something that they knew and they talked about. They told us, we just said, okay, do we want to listen? But this is a new Bills offense, and clearly they do not miss Stephon Diggs, and maybe it's even better than it was when they had him.
Tried to play trust games here with the idea that Diggs had found his way out of Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Had a lot of opportunity, and even with the Bills, right? A lot of opportunities on a game-to-game basis. You're talking targets for days, i.e. I have to force-feed this guy the ball, which means I'm putting it into harm's way oftentimes, right? That's the trade-off with sometimes having the number one receiver that really needs to fit the bill. They did really well yesterday against Minnesota, by the way. But we'll get to that in due time. It was a good jersey exchange. That was the highlight of his day in that one. But talking Stephon Diggs, of course. But for Joe Brady, the OC, for Josh Allen, I think it quiets a lot of folks, at least through a couple of weeks, that have still been, I'm out on Josh Allen. How many years do you need to see it before you finally believe a little bit? This was not Deion Sanders mid-September last year. Do you believe after 2 games? Not after 2 games. We're talking several years of proof.
Look, Diggs made the offense go for a long time until it became too much. I need the ball.
Right, and in the second half of the season, they downplayed and downgraded what they did with him. Offense still moved. Offense still worked. And, they lose Gabe Davis as well. So you lost 2 guys that were sure-handed receivers for him. But you did have Khalil Shakir, who you referenced before. And all offseason, his stat was the efficiency that he and Allen had connected on last year. It was the target reception count was ridiculous in terms of that ratio. So you have that. Kincaid, we expected greatness from. And you still have your other tight end. You still have Ray Davis, who you drafted to work alongside James Cook. So you've got better balance. Defensively, they're going to have maybe some questions along the way because they've had attrition at the linebacking position already and in the back 7. Not that it mattered today.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, and that gets into a bigger point. The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon, live from the TireRack.com studios. We've told you for a long time, right? When he signed that big contract extension, right? Red light, red light, red light. Trevor Lawrence is just a guy. And you can't put the whole game tonight on him because clearly, look, the defense is getting pushed around. But we've seen enough of Trevor Lawrence to know that he's not great. And we told you this, hey, after 3 years, when he signed that big contract, right? I put it up on Twitter. Hey, remember we said danger, danger, red light. You paid the guy because you drafted him number 1 overall. He had the one good year, not a great year, but he had the one good year with the big playoff comeback because he threw 4 picks in the first half. But you're paying him because he was a stud at Clemson. He was a generational quarterback, and he had that one season with the big playoff win. So you have stars in your eyes. We got to keep this guy. When Trevor Lawrence, honestly, is a league average quarterback, that's kind of what he is. He is at best, could he be a top 15 quarterback and really be on the other side of that? Yeah, but and it's not that he's terrible. It's that you paid him because you want to believe you have a star quarterback, and you don't. He turns the ball over way too much. He overthrows receivers still. And for someone who, and I read something really great about him earlier today, where one of the big and one of those unnamed NFC insiders said, "Look, Trevor Lawrence looks to me like a guy who I've succeeded doing everything at every aspect of my life in football. And now I still think I can do stuff that I've succeed on my whole life, and I can't anymore."
Well,
right?
I mean, this is the extension of the argument we had with Kyler Murray just a couple of years ago.
But everybody, and that's not an uncommon thing. Many quarterbacks, hey, I can't do that.
Well,
so what do you do?
The kid who's the top dog at a school in a small town that goes to a big college and realize, wait, there's other smart people here.
Wow, look at this. Boy, they really know more than I do. The Winklevi twins are just so. The thing is, everybody else adjusts. Okay, what can I do? Because this is now year 4 in the league for him, okay? This is his second coach. They have given him playmakers all the way through. They're giving him running backs, they're giving him wide receivers, and he's not terrible. He's just a league average quarterback, and you're seeing that. He doesn't elevate the team. He doesn't elevate the guys around him. Sometimes he'll make really good throws, and sometimes it's, what the hell kind of throw is that? And this is the danger. Yes, life is miserable in the NFL without a quarterback. I look, hey, I'm a Jet fan.
Well, no, but that's just it. You've got 3 weeks that you're finally recognizing a quarterback. I'm still, I like my guy. I need the rest to work around him.
But it's also miserable when you pay a quarterback and he's not that good, because he's not going to lift you anywhere. Like this is not just, hey, we got a small sample size. This is now nearly a quarter of the way into his 4th year in the NFL, and he's just a guy.
Well, it's also an indictment on Doug Peterson at this point, that he hasn't, in a year and a half and another full off season, been able to elevate him, to get him out of his own way. I mean, what is it, 6 straight games coming into tonight with a completion percentage under 60%? In today's NFL, that's unconscionable, right? I mean, that is late 70s, 80s, when it was, we're just chucking the ball downfield and trying to get something to happen. Nowadays, you use your tight ends and running backs out of the backfield to where if you're not at 63 to 64% as a starter, as just to start the discussion, then you don't get to keep your job. Now, he gets paid, as you said, because if you don't have a quarterback in this league, you lose, right? You don't have anything. And so now he's, 4th or 5th on average annual value? How many more guys are coming up next? Because he's going to be like 12th before long.
Yeah. Well, this is also the contract that pisses off the other owners going, okay, I get paying Burrow, I get paying
Well, you
Love,
had Deshaun Watson starts it.
Right? But this is the new one, right?
Yeah.
Every couple of years there's a one that, whoa, I get that you like Trevor Lawrence, but this guy's doesn't deserve to be in the top 3 paid quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, you got him
NFL.
And Daniel Jones that you have to look at and just go, wait, what are we doing?
He didn't reset the market. And teams, they fall in love with the fact that things could be worse, right? It's like relationships. When, why are you guys still dating? Well, if we break up, things could always be worse. If I don't know, I don't want to be single. I get that we're not both incredibly happy, but we might not be as happy if we're apart, and I'm kind of afraid of the unknown. And that's what teams do. Boy, we have a guy that's a little bit better than what we've had, but is he really great? Can we really win? I'm kind of nervous. That's why the Giants paid Daniel Jones. What would life be like if we didn't have? All right, let's pay Daniel Jones. Okay, let's now pay Trevor Lawrence. Okay, you're seeing what life is like. You're 0-3. All right, you're going to be 0-3, and it's going to be, where's our franchise quarterback? Why do we stink so much? And this is going to be the night. We've been telling you for months that Trevor Lawrence is just a guy, and now this is where the conversation amps up and hey, Jason and Mike were right. They've been telling us that. This is where, because when you fail like this on a Monday night, it's a much bigger deal, and this is where you're going to start seeing the hey, wait a minute, Trevor Lawrence is not great bandwagon can just take off like a rocket.
Yeah, because last year you could look at the second half of the season and he played through some injuries that maybe he shouldn't have, right? But that's when you're going to be the franchise guy.
Yeah.
You kind of have to do those things. And once you're in between the white lines, we don't really care. Right? We don't really care.
Excuses can you give? Right? Okay, his first year was Urban Meyer. That's a lost year. Okay, I get it. Second year was a little bit better. Okay, third year was injuries.
But the expectation.
How long are you going to do that for?
But that's the thing. The expectation after what went on last year, because they got a break, right? Because Philadelphia was such a dumpster fire. Mm-hmm. Everything that happened the second half of the year, unless you were actually in Jacksonville, or us, you didn't pay attention to it. And we watched it unfold, and he kept getting up and getting back on the field, which is great, showing great heart, determination. The expectation with another year of the offseason with Doug Peterson that this was going to click. They bring in new receivers. Christian Kirk's healthy. ETN, that fumble is going to be a play, that game against Miami to open the season might be the thing that keeps it from ever actually finding the rails. Mm-hmm. Like you're on a ride at an amusement park, and then all of a sudden you stop and the song just keeps playing around because someone got knocked off the tracks.
Wait, are we going again? I'll sit here. Okay, we'll sit here. We'll sit here and wait.
We expect you to be moving again. And yeah, that may never get them back on the damn rails. That fumble and the subsequent comeback by the Dolphins in week 1.
Look, There's two quarterbacks getting paid like franchise quarterbacks on the field tonight in Buffalo. One of them absolutely deserves it. You could see the difference. Josh Allen was drafted, came up, franchise quarterback. Yes, he's proved it. Trevor Lawrence is not, and getting paid like that. I mean, really, if you don't need to see anything more if you're an NFL fan, then go, boy, I see two guys here getting paid all kinds of money to be franchise guys, and one of them is, and one is just a guy. You don't need any more. Whatever you disagree about you can't disagree when you see what's going on your television.
Anybody find any video games or anything he does so they can denigrate his effort and his love of craft? You also might just say, "Hey, I want to be that guy because I can fail and the check's still going to clear."
Sure. Oh yeah.
I still got my signing bonus.
Lots of guys you can say that about. Lots of guys aren't doing well, getting paid well.
We'll bring out that laundry list later on in the show here.
Ready for a new job? Let Express Employment Professionals help. While Express helps people in all industries find work, it's the red zone for hiring logistics roles like warehouse, forklift, and customer service jobs. Check out expresspros.com to find your local office. That is expresspros.com. Well, coming up next, NFL insider Jason La Canfora stops by. We'll have the latest on these games tonight. Plus, are things really bad for the Cowboys? Is Sam Darnold really this good? All the big news coming off of Week 3 straight ahead right here. Jason and Mike, Fox Sports Radio. The best part of football season? Checking out the post-game stats. Which wideouts scored more than 2 touchdowns? Which quarterbacks threw for less than 350 yards? Think you can pick who'll do what before kickoff? Then play Pick 6 from DraftKings, an official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app. Select between 2 and 6 players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. It's that simple. And for all first-time Pick 6 players, check this out. New customers play $5 on your first pick set, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. That's $5 on your first pick set, $50 in Pick 6 credits. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use the code JSS. That's code JSS for new customers to play. $5 on your first pick set, $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6, code JSS. DraftKings Pick 6, code JSS. Code JSS, DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Fox Sports Radio, the Jason Smith Show with my best friend Mike Harmon.
Yes, sir.
3 minutes to go, mercifully for the Jaguars. The Bills lead it 47-10. Meanwhile, the Commanders, early in the fourth quarter, have now opened up a 31-20 lead over the Bengals, who are looking for their first win and avoid going to 0-3, and suddenly, hey, maybe the season's over. Joining us now on the hotline for all the latest news on the NFL, nobody better. Longtime friend of the show, he's on Twitter at Jason Lockenfora. Check him out on Odyssey, 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, Washington Post, doing stuff on CBS. He's busy 24/7. What's happening, Jay?
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, buddy.
Well, I look at this, and Mike and I talked this to start. You know, we in this Bills-Jaguars game, we see there's two guys out there that are getting paid like franchise quarterbacks, and clearly Josh Allen, the superstar that he is, showing he doesn't need Stephon Diggs. And on the other side is Trevor Lawrence, who is getting paid and treated like a star because he was a stud at Clemson and he beat the Chargers that one game in the playoffs. Like, I don't know what to do at this point with the whole, hey, Trevor Lawrence, maybe he's not generational, J-Law. Maybe he's not.
This is not like a short sample size anymore.
No.
I mean, this is not – Urban Meyer's been gone for a long time. Like, no, it's a problem. And giving a guy whose team collapsed the way it did, and frankly the way he collapsed down the stretch, that extension, look, if the owner wants to do it, then it's your job to get it done. If the owner wants to double down and prove that he's finally found his quarterback and, you know, instill belief in the kid and keep up with market prices by doing so, you know, you're probably not going to be able to talk him out of it, but it can absolutely cripple your franchise. And I wrote about this recently at the Washington Post, talking to some people around the league. Like, if you're going to keep taking 4 or 5 in the first round, right, if that's going to keep happening with regularity, and you want to keep playing the keeping up with the Joneses deal, you know, by year 4, year 5, even if they've shown a modicum of progress and they've hit some high notes, like if you want to keep playing leapfrog with them and paying them, then you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble because they're not all going to pan out, and there's a lot of fool's gold in there that you can talk yourself into. And there's not much of a middle class in this league, but, like, are you better off with a Baker Mayfield for 55-60% of what you're paying these other guys, or a Geno, you know, in that same range, or even a Cousins? Then, you know, we're now talking $55-60 million for these guys. It's problematic. It's problematic. And whether it's Deshaun Watson or it's Tua or it's Trevor Lawrence, you can go down the list. Just go on Spotrac and look at highest annual salary per year for NFL players, and look at some of the quarterbacks who come up. It's going to prove to be bad business for a lot of these guys. And the Jacksonville Jaguars don't have many discernible strengths right now. I don't know where they go from here. They don't run the ball. They're not special in defense. They had a few more defensive backs and linebackers go down in this game. They got absolutely mauled, and the Bills didn't even run the ball in the first half. Like, you know, you thought the Bills have been playing bully ball. I mean, they just destroyed them with short passes, you know, and crossers and sidelines and screens, and then eventually hit some big stuff once they started putting the game out of reach. I mean, they never even really had to lean in to the run game, and they still completely dismantled them. It's good luck. Good luck in Jacksonville.
Operation Obliteration. So I'll ask the age-old question. I mean, it's as simple as I could put it. How about them Cowboys?
Well, it's the worst run-stopping D-line in the NFL. I mean, they don't have any D tackles. They don't have anybody who's there as a legitimate run stuffer. You know, they traded for Jordan Phillips. He's hurt. You know, the kid, Mazzie Smith, is not a football player at this point in time. Like, he's not effective for them. He came into this game against the Ravens without a tackle all year, and then was a part of a D-line that gave up 274 rushing yards to the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens had 3 guys all carry the ball at least 6 times. They all average at least 6 yards a carry. Like, it's ridiculous. They can't hold up. If you want to run inside power and double-team their D tackles, they can't hold up. If you want to use speed and use sprint plays to the outside, just run to whatever side Michael Parsons isn't on. You're going to find a lot of joy. Like, I think, I'm already looking at Daniel Jones props for Thursday night. Like, Daniel Jones against the Dallas Cowboys at home has tended to run 9 times or more. Like, if he runs 9 times in this game, he's going to get, he might get 50 yards, maybe more, maybe 60. Yeah, they've got major problems, and they can't run the ball. Guys, they have a minus 336 rushing differential already.
Yep.
Just think about that. Like, that's impossible. Like, if you look at the advanced metrics, they're winning the Triple Crown. Most yards allowed before contact, lowest success rate against the run in the NFL, and their run D EPA is minus 18. Like, the next closest team is the Rams at, like, minus 6.7. Like, they're on another planet than everybody else. And the personnel just isn't there to run the ball or stop the run. Keep playing Dak Prescott, passing attempts. They keep setting it at the beginning of the week at 35. Going over that, he's going to have to throw 40 times for them to move the ball because they can't run, and they're going to give up yards and points defensively. They've given up 11 rushing touchdowns in their last 4 games, guys. Like, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, including the playoff game. I'm going back to last year. Like, it's broken. It's broken, and the NFC is better this year than it's been in a long time. So, Godspeed, Jerry. And how about Jerry coming out after the game and didn't have any money for Derrick Henry?
No, how about that?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
No.
I figured he was going to start
Go so crazy
busking out
there.
Hey, Jay, flip side of this now. Hey, how come you guys can't close games there? How come everything comes down to the you had a 50-point lead yesterday, you couldn't close. I mean, come on. What's going on?
Well, the amazing thing about it is it's basically been a little bit of everything. Like, it's been the offensive coordinator at times just not, wanting to run the clock out or not sticking to the run. Now, that wasn't the issue yesterday. Yesterday it was special teams. I mean, the kicker who's the first ballot Hall of Famer, who's the best money kicker maybe in NFL history, most people would say is, like, it's one thing when he's not making from 50 anymore. Like, he can't make from 45 now on a perfect day to kick a ball, in perfect conditions and no wind or anything. So, like, he misses that. You have to basically tell people now where you're onside kicking. Like, I feel like you almost have to, like, spray paint a circle on the turf, like they do in soccer, 10 yards for, a free kick. Like, I feel like you almost have to put a circle there where you're going to kick it to 11 yards downfield. Like, that's what's going on now. And Zay Flowers still couldn't, field an onside kick yesterday. And then you've got the defense itself, which somehow gave up 191 yards and 7.1 yards per play. It's the worst fourth-quarter defense in the NFL. It was the worst fourth-quarter defense for quite a bit under Mike McDonald, as good as he was. So there's a lot that's going in this. Oh, and sometimes John Harbaugh just, gives timeouts and challenges away. Just, everybody on the field saying don't throw the flag, including his quarterback, and he throws it anyway. So that plays a role in it, too. I mean, that had something to do with the Raiders' loss. So it's just a collective mindset. They're just not very smart with the lead. All the way around, and we're now talking 4 different defensive coordinators. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. But Lamar Jackson opened that game, and then Lamar Jackson closed that game. Like, you're lucky when you have a Lamar Jackson. Like, they needed a first down desperately, and he makes a great pass, and then he has a 10-yard quarterback sneak after not really sneak, design quarterback run after the 2-minute warning, and they kill it off. But I don't know how to explain it. It's been going on a long time. It's hard to explain.
Well, you mentioned the Raiders as you gave the answer there, going back to week 2 and the collapse. Well, the Raiders didn't bother to show up at home and let Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, go nuts. Antonio Pierce after the game talking about business decisions. How quickly is Devontae Adams traded once Aiden O'Connell takes over as the quarterback here?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, look, these guys have bowed up and done some things since Antonio Pierce has been there. Now, I don't know. Maybe this is critical mass. I mean, geez, whiz, life comes at you fast. A week ago, they pulled off the upset of
Yeah,
I mean, like, they overcame a 10-point deficit at Baltimore. They completely shut them out in the second half. Like, so I don't know, guys. Like, that defense came into that game allowing 17.2 points per game under Antonio Pierce. Like, I don't know that it's completely all of a sudden now, irrevocably over. Like, who do they have this week? Cleveland? I mean, first team to 5 wins that one. Like, I don't know that it's not a question that they don't win that game. and then now, here we go. It's a week-to-week league. But yeah, I don't think Davante Adams can be real happy. I mean, that was a weird week where I thought Adams and Bowers would both go off, and neither one saw the ball really at all. And I don't think it's because all of a sudden, Carolina Panthers are an incredible coverage team. So I don't know, man. My suspicion is he sticks with Minshew. I mean, I would be surprised if they made that move right now. But yeah, I also think they've the Davante Adams thing is never really as much as he's had individual success. I mean, if you watch the wide receiver documentary, it's obviously been a struggle for him dealing with all this losing coming from Green Bay, where they were competing for the Super Bowl every year.
Hey, lastly, Jay, flip side of that game with Andy Dalton playing so well, what kind of trade offers are the Panthers really getting for Bryce Young at this point? Like, what are they getting?
I don't think they're getting any. I mean, people aren't. It's just really not really how it works, and yeah.
What do you think from the Panthers put that out there? Hey, we're getting them. We don't really want offers, but we're getting them. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah, we're just being overwhelmed. Look, I don't think he has a future there, even if Andy Dalton didn't come out and look like, the best quarterback in the NFL. They weren't. I don't know, guys. It's not my report. I don't know what to say about it. Like, that stuff's coming out 48 hours after the kid was benched. I don't know. I know a lot of GMs. Like, I don't know. Too many of them are trying to trade for a backup. Like, you know what I mean? That immediately becomes the priority week 3. Like, let's try to beat somebody to the punch for Bryce Young. I also don't think they'd sell on him right now, and it's a long season, and Andy Dalton's like 36, 37, 38, and Young might need to play again, and frankly, would they want to sell this low on him either way?
Right.
Like, if somebody, if this was like right before the trade deadline, you know what I mean, and a couple teams lost their quarterback, then like I could see it. But whatever.
He's on Twitter at Jason Lockenfora. That is at Jason Lockenfora. Odyssey 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, Washington Post. Jay, as always, buddy, appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the games.
You guys do the same. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, great stuff from Jason Lockenfora, as always. How about what's trending in the wide world of sports? We got great stuff going on right now, including the game that now, because of where we sit, time of night, everyone's eyes are on, the Giants and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, let's go.
And that race for the NL wild card, that number 2 wild card in the NL. Steve DeSager has an update on that and more.
If you're wondering why he brought that up, the Diamondbacks and Mets are each 2 games up on idle Atlanta for the last NL wild card. Phillies clinched the NL East title tonight, by the way. And the Giants did have an inside-the-park homer.
And, how about that?
And they do lead 3-2 after 3 innings at Arizona.
I'm not saying I was screaming on the other side of the glass when Matt Chapman hit that one off the wall. Maybe it was me. Maybe I'm not going to admit to anything.
You were banging on the glass like you were that guy in the Aaron Rodgers commercial.
I'm not going to admit to anything.
Rodgers!
Not going to admit to anything.
Or Dustin Hoffman at the end of The Graduate.
That's that too.
Philadelphia beat the Cubs 6-2. First division title for the Phils since 2011. Meanwhile, Houston can clinch the AL West crown tonight, but they're losing at home in the 9th. Seattle 4-1 in the lead. The start time for tomorrow's Rays at Tigers game has been changed to 1 p.m. Eastern time due to impending bad weather in Detroit, and Rockies outfielder Charlie Blackmon announced his retirement after 14 years with Colorado. 2 NFL games tonight. First one, unless you're in Buffalo, not much to say about this one. It was at halftime, 34-3, Bills over Jacksonville. 47-10 the final. Josh Allen with 4 touchdown passes in the first half. Bills are 3-0. Jacksonville 0-3. In fact, quarterback Trevor Lawrence of the Jags has lost 8 straight starts going back to last year. Longest active streak in the league. Right now, we've got Washington holding on at Cincinnati, 31-26 with under 6 minutes to go. The Bengals in danger of starting the season 0-3. What are your chances of making the playoffs when you start 0-3? Well, since the year 2001, exactly 1 NFL team has made the postseason after an 0-3 start. And in fact, going back to the late 1970s.
Let me guess, it was the Chargers.
No, although you'd think with all the bad starts, they'd be on all of these
think
lists.
The Chargers once started 0-8 and made the playoffs.
It was 0-4.
In a 14-game season.
No, it was
I think they
0-4,
did.
I think.
They were 0-8. They won their last 6, and they made the playoffs.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
1979.
Not unfamiliar with bad starts, by the way. Last year, Cincinnati finished a game out of the playoffs. They missed because they were a game behind the Steelers. Head-to-head, they lost twice to Pittsburgh. They lost twice to Baltimore. This year, they still have to play twice against Pittsburgh and twice against Baltimore. If they start 0-3 here, which means they'd already be 3 games back of the Steelers in the division in September, this would be notable. Under 5 minutes to go. Washington with the ball and the lead, 31-26. Now, Washington running back Austin Eckler, who has a touchdown run tonight and a great kick return as well, left due to a concussion. Rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels with a touchdown pass and a touchdown run. Joe Burrow, 3 touchdown passes for the Bengals, but they've missed a 48-yard field goal attempt, and they've missed a 2-point pass, and they're down by 5 right now. And again, don't have the ball.
So wait. 2,
3,
5. 5. That's 5. That's 5. That's 5.
Get that Bundy 5 count out.
It would be tied.
By the way, T. Higgins had his arm absolutely pinned to his body on the 2-point.
Yeah.
It was absurd.
Oh, Jaden Daniels just converted a 4th and 4 pass to Zach Ertz. He's still in the league, people. So Washington can run a little more clock with about 4 minutes to go, leading at Cincinnati.
I did not have Zach Ertz's career going longer than Julie Ertz's career. I did not have that. I did not have it on my bingo card.
Got the
good point.
Keep bouncing around.
Did not have it.
That's right. More chance of concussion in soccer than football, I guess, is what that teaches us.
Yeah.
By the way, the Vikings say tests on quarterback Sam Darnold's knee showed no structural damage, only a bruise after yesterday's injury. Back to you.
Thank you, Steve-O. The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon live from the TireRack.com studios. Coming up next, we'll have more on this game. Hey, 3.5 to go. Washington trying to hold on here, up 31-26. But why the day after? The Monday after week 3? The biggest story in the NFL surrounded the phrase business decisions. That's next. Jason and Mike, Fox.